Welcome everyone to Planetary Workshop today. We appreciate you all being here. Very excited to have our presentation, What are Chakras and Why It Matters with Dada Richananda. So we're going to let everybody kind of log in, get their audio connected. We do have translation in Vietnamese, so if you need translation, please connect with Subodh. We appreciate him being here. And I'm going to just do a quick introduction before we start our presentation. So we will have a short welcome followed by 8 minutes of chanting, which is going to be Baba Kevalam, and then a short guided meditation just to get all of us centered before we start the presentation. And then we will have a about an hour to 15-minute presentation, which will also include a breakout room. So we'll have some community interaction, and then we will follow with a closing and some announcements. And all the links for the menti.com, which will be an interactive today, you'll find in the chat. And so we hope that you will participate, and we'd love for everyone, as many of you, to turn on your cameras. And it would just, it's always great to see each other's faces. So if Dada will forward the screen, perfect. So here at PLT, we are an inclusive community. We want everyone to feel welcome. We are people from all over the globe at all different walks of life and all different parts of our meditation practice. And so again, we want everyone to feel welcome. So we start all of our live presentations, our live workshops, our live meditation with this quote from Sri Sri Anandamurti. It is our duty to accelerate the speed of human progress. Your endless efforts to broaden and smoothen the path of human movement will render our present existence and your future history inestimable. So again, we appreciate everybody being here today. I'm really looking forward to this presentation. And before we get to that, we will start with our chanting meditation, which is going to be Baba Nam Kevalam, followed by a short guided meditation, and then we will start the presentation. So enjoy, and yeah, thank you for being here.
I'm going to sing this mantra, Baba Nam Kevalam. Many of you are familiar with this, but perhaps not all of you. And it means only the feeling of limitless love. So you can just sit straight and close your eyes, and my friend here is going to accompany me. I think you've all probably got your microphones off by default, which is good because I love singing with people, but over the internet doesn't work. So you're welcome to sing, but keep your mics off, please. And yeah, just sit straight and close your eyes, and we're just going to have a very short chanting and then silent meditation. Keep your eyes closed. Sit straight and breathe through your nose if you can comfortably. And let the mantra Baba Nam Kevalam continue in your mind with the music. And just focus on the idea behind that, this feeling of limitless love. And connect to the source of love within you. And we'll meditate on that silently for just a couple of minutes. Take a deep breath. And breathe out and relax, and you can open your eyes.
Namaskar. I am very happy to be here with all of you. I am happy to be visiting you virtually in your home and talking about the subject of chakras and have this conversation about chakras. So you should feel free to put your questions either in the Mentimeter or in the chat as we go along, as if we are having a conversation, and if you don't understand anything or you want to comment anything, you can do it. So the topic is about chakras. What are chakras? So first of all, we see this word spelled in different ways. Like most in Ananda Marga, in our presentations, we use CA, but you will see a CH. So I just explain briefly why it happens. We have a system of writing Sanskrit with the Roman script. And in this system, we, as you can see in the figure, there are different letters. So if we want to say ka, it will be with a K. And the CA is cha, always cha. If you put the CH, so the H adds like a ha sound to the C, and it becomes cha. So in our system, we only write the CA, and it should be like chakra. And every time you see CA is a cha. So just to clarify that part. So from now on in the presentation, I'm only using CA, and that will be chakra. What are we going to see today? We want to know what chakras are. So I will put it into the context of the body, into the context of chakras and our emotions, and the chakra and our mind. We'll see in these three aspects or three contexts so that we get a good picture about it. So first of all, I would like to know from you, you can always use the links that are in the chat window. If you have ever read or studied about chakras, let's see where we are as a collective mind here in our group. We are 32 people here. As many of you can give your input in the Mentimeter, we use a lot Mentimeter in our presentations. If you can manage to connect with the Mentimeter, you can participate more. You will enjoy it more. And it's not that difficult. If you click on the link that is in the chat window, you go straight to the place where you can give your opinion. And as I see the answers coming, it seems that all of you have at least heard about chakras, and some of you have studied, so you are with a deeper understanding. I think that gives me a good picture of where we are, and I can move on. When we hear, when we talk, when we study about chakras, if there is an illustration, if there is a picture, it will be a picture similar to the one I'm showing you there. It will have a human body, and there will be some points, and usually there are some colors and shapes. And that is what we commonly find about chakras in books, in the internet, in our studies. But when we, let's say, look at the body, suppose we are doctors or we have access to bodies and we can open a body, you know, we can cut it and open and look inside. Can we see the chakras? I put a very simple question there. Now we are in a doctor's office and doctor has opened the body and we are going to look inside, but we do not see any chakras. Is it because they don't exist? What is the reason is that chakras are not something physical. We cannot see them. They are not physical, but when we see all these drawings, we see a physical body and we see the points. It is a representation. Now, what do we really see? What we see are some glands, subglands, in the points that people say the chakras are. We see the pineal gland in the point related to the highest chakra. We see the pituitary gland in the point related to the sixth chakra. The thyroid and parathyroid glands in the place where it should be the fifth chakra, or the thymus gland in the place of the chest chakra. So we see that those points that should be the chakras according to the figures and what we are studying, in the physical body, there are some glands. And these glands are part of the endocrine system. So now we connect both. Okay, so chakras are something psychic, something subtle. We cannot see with our naked eyes, we cannot touch with our fingers. But in the physical body, there are these glands and we can see them. And we have studied them in medicine, in biology, people study this subject. So the endocrine glands, we can say, are the physical counterpart of the subtle system of chakras. So there is an endocrine system. Searching the internet or books, we find that they define the endocrine system as a messenger system. It gives messages. It comprises feedback loops of the hormones. So the glands, they release some hormones. These hormones travel all over the body, giving messages. For example, we see something. It gives us fear, something in our mind. That fear stimulates our adrenaline. This hormone is sent all around the body. It makes us alert. It makes us ready to face that fear. So that's how this hormone system is working. It is regulating our emotions. And in the endocrine system, they say, they say that the controlling point is in the brain, the hypothalamus. And that is the control center of these endocrine glands. In the chakra system, we also say that the chakras in the head, they will control all the other chakras. So even then, even in that case, we see this correlation, this part physical, endocrine system, subtle, chakra system. So there is this connection. the hormones, they affect our mood, our emotions. Suppose we are very shy. It's related to a certain hormone. Suppose we have a lot of hatred. That is also related to hormones. So the hormone is like a physical substance, but the effect is happening in the mind. So there is this very close interrelation between body and mind. So the body can affect the mind can also affect the body, and they work together. So there is this connection between the endocrine system and the system of chakras. So now, chakras is not something so out of this world because there is something physical that we can connect to it. We can connect this activity of the endocrine system, the hormones, with the chakras and the emotions that are controlled by the chakras. Then let's go to chakras and emotions. So now we have chakras and body. Okay, chakras relating to this system of glands, the endocrine system. Now chakras and emotions. So the endocrine system is producing hormones. The hormones are affecting our emotions, our mood. Now we go to chakras. Chakras also are supposed to control our emotions. Let's examine one propensity, one emotion in particular. Let's say that we look at our physical body and we think about fear, this, let's call it a propensity of mind or an emotion. So we are thinking about fear, looking at our body, and we think, which part of my body is mostly related to this emotion or to this feeling of fear? So you can give your answer there in the Mentimeter. What part of your body? Okay, somebody is also answering in the chat window. I will wait a few more answers. We can put again the link here of the Mentimeter, so you just click it and quickly you go there. And I see by the answers that most of you think that it's in the navel area. But we also have some who think that it's in the head. Okay, let me talk first about the head part. Everything is happening in the head in the end, because we are used to feel that all our thoughts are happening in our head, which is like that. But really here, this emotion is very much connected to the navel area. There are different sayings in different countries that they say, oh, when you have a lot of fear, then it stimulates the digestive system, and you can also create some disasters, no? So just think that, yes, fear is related to the navel area. Then in the navel area, now we look at those pictures of chakras and we see that one of them is in the navel area. So there is a chakra in the navel area. In that navel area, there are also glands. So the glands in the navel area, they produce hormones that are related to fear. So if those glands are not very balanced, maybe they are producing a lot of these hormones, and you can become a very fearful person. That in the physical. And in the subtle, it means that chakra in the navel area is not very balanced. Therefore, the fear propensity is very strong. And you see some people have a lot of fear, other people don't. But everybody has some fear. It is not that fear gets completely eliminated. It can be reduced a lot, and it may not bother you in your life, but it is always there. In other people, it can be so much that they cannot do anything because of so much fear. So let's see a little bit about this navel area chakra. So all the chakras have a Sanskrit name. Chakra is a Sanskrit word. So this chakra in the navel area is called Manipura chakra in Sanskrit. So let's see which emotions are related to this chakra. So the first one is fear. How many emotions are related to this chakra? Different chakras have a different number of emotions or propensities connected to that chakra. In the scope of this presentation, we are going to work more with the navel chakra because we already started with it. So let's continue with it. Other propensities from this chakra, shyness. You may not know, it's not so evident like fear, but shyness is also related to this chakra. And sadistic tendency. You know, some people, they are very like, suppose they will get an insect and they will make the insect suffer as they examine it, you know. They like to see suffering of others. This is also related to this chakra. Envy. Now you may think, okay, we have 4 now, and they all seem a little bit negative. But no, don't think that all this is negative. It is because you see, fear is also important. Sometimes you survive because fear is helping you to survive. And fear can be more and can be less. The same way shyness can be more, can be less. Therefore, these propensities or these tendencies can help us or sometimes create hindrances. Depends on how we control them. So now we have 4. We still have more. Staticity. I will explain a little bit this one. Staticity is something that doesn't allow you to move forward. For example, you want to ask a question, you have a doubt. You want to ask a question, but then you don't ask because you think, oh, so many people here, you feel a little bit hesitant, and then you don't do it. And many times in our life, it happens in that way, that we want to do something, and then we don't do it, and then we said, oh, I should have done it. So that is this staticity that is holding us back. And this is also related to this chakra. Melancholia. You think, oh, the good old days, and feeling melancholic. That's also related to this chakra. Peevishness. You know, some people are very irritable. you say something to them and they get very irritated, and that is also related to this navel chakra. Yearning for acquisition. You want more. You want more and more. You never feel you have enough. Another propensity of this chakra. So now we have 8, and we still have more. Infatuation. Addiction. You know, you go into something and you just get infatuated with it, and you want to continue with it, and you get completely engrossed in it. That's also related to this chakra. And hatred. Oh, I hate this, or I hate that. That's also related to this chakra. So now we have 10, and we only talked about one chakra. And just on this chakra, our mind is being pulled in 10 different directions. And all this is about this chakra and all these emotions related to this chakra. I want to move forward. We talked about the body and the chakras. Okay, we open the body. We don't see chakras, we see glands. Okay, so gland related to chakra. Now we go to the second, chakra and emotion. We have so many emotions. They are related to the chakras and to the hormones. They, you know, like the order is coming from the chakra to the endocrine system, and the endocrine system starts working, producing all these hormones, and everything happens in our physical body. And what happens in the physical body is that it goes on retaining some memory. So if we are always getting fear and more fear and more fear, we become a fearful person by nature. And to change that, it takes a lot of work. But to build that, it also took a lot of work. It went slowly, slowly building up, building up. And now we want to change it, has to go in the other direction. So now let's talk about the mind, because we think, and it is actually true, that our mind should be the controller. We should control it. There is a situation, we are so fearful, but we are telling our mind, oh, we shouldn't have fear, but we are still having. What's going on? Let's think about the mind. Where do you think the mind is located? Is it in the head? Is it all around the body? Is it in the head and certain parts of the body? So join me on the Menti and give your opinion there. Okay, we are having different opinions here. We have 5 people who have contributed their take on it. So if more people can do it, it will be nice. It seems that you are agreeing throughout the body and in the head. Okay, so let me elaborate on that. Let's say that the main location is the head. That's the main location, okay? But let's compare it to something that we may be used to. Like here in the United States, and in some countries is also something similar, there is the federal government, like the central government. And the central government in this country is in Washington, D.C., which is the capital. Okay, so that's the central government. But this country is divided in states. Some countries are not divided in states because they are not so big. Maybe they have provinces. So there is the central government, there is the state, and in the state, they have the state government. The state government controls the state, but some things are controlled by the central government, and some things are controlled by the state government. And sometimes the central government will control indirectly through the state government, okay? But the government is divided into the federal capital, the capital for the whole country, and the capital for the different states. So in a similar way, our mind, let's say that the central government is in the head, but the state government is in the chakras. So those chakras control a certain part of it. And the head or the chakra in the head will have a control over the whole system. But sometimes it exerts the control indirectly, means it exerts the control through the chakras. So I would say that the answer in this question would be that in the head, maybe the main government, and in certain parts of the body, which are the chakras, and those are the, like the state or the provincial governments. So the mind is not all in the head, let's say. It is also in other sub-centers in the body. So now let's come to a definition or a conclusion of what the chakras are. I called it like substations of the mind. Like the mind, main office, the main office in the head, and the other offices in the chakras. So these chakras are actually part of our mind, and they are located in a certain part of the body. The main mind, let's say in the head, is using the brain, nervous system, is using the glands, the pituitary gland, pineal gland, and that is like the main controlling point. But the glands, which are connected to the other different chakras, they are producing these hormones, which are taking these messages to the body, which makes the body act in a certain way, like we saw in the case of fear. We see something, so this message is coming to our main office that we have seen something that is fearful. So now, those glands will send message to the gland in the navel area. So that chakra on the head will send message to the chakra in the navel area that there is something fearful. Get ready. So that message goes to the whole body. Now, fear has stimulated some reaction. We have to protect ourselves. So that's how this system is working. So you can see that if there is an imbalance in the system, the reaction can be too strong. For example, the person can faint, lose consciousness, fall on the floor just because of fear. Or other things can happen. The person can even lose the parallelism with the body and die. So different things can happen if the system is not working in a balanced way. If it is in a balanced way, the person will have what we call a cool mind to react to that situation and not to overreact or lose control. Another thing that we know about the chakras is that they are subtle. They are subtle. They cannot be seen. They cannot be touched. They control all these emotions, all these propensities. And the navel one controls 10 of them. And these emotions or these propensities in the Sanskrit language are called vrittis. And you may see this word as we go on studying spiritual science. It will come many times, vrittis. So now you know what it is. All these emotions or mental propensities. What do I mean by propensity? Is that your mind has it there. For example, fear is always in us. Some of us have less, some have more, but it's always there. It is a vritti of the mind. Okay, I'll go back here. Now we come to the point about balance or control over the chakras, over the glands. Because if we can work on the physical and on the mental together, we'll have more results. How do we work on the physical? The most important practice of yoga that helps the endocrine system are the asanas, yoga postures. And after yoga postures, we also do massage, self-massage, and we also do relaxation. All these are working on the glands, on the endocrine system. If you cannot get good concentration, do asanas very regularly. Your concentration will start improving. Meditation will become easier. Then you do more meditation, it will also help affect the chakras, and you'll be able to increase your concentration in that way. Another important thing is that the higher chakras, they control the lower chakras. Let's say the central government in the head has control over the other chakras. But one practice that we need to do is this, to keep the lower chakras cool. You don't want a revolt or a rebellion on your lower chakras. So you have to keep them cool so that they work in synchrony, in a good working relation with the top chakras. And that's why many times we give you advice that keep your lower chakras cooled, usually with water, washing and keeping it fresh by applying water. So that's also important practice that I wanted to mention. And there are mental practices, practices of concentration, practices with mantras, because sound affects the mind. Sometimes we are very nervous and we hear some nice music, we relax. In the same way, sound affects the chakras and mantras affect the chakras. So these are practices and techniques that we teach gradually and help very much with the chakras and the glands. And this subject will be part of the course that we are preparing, that we are going to launch on January 22nd, and that you can join, because in a workshop, we cannot give all the solutions. Plus, you need time to practice. So you need to experience the techniques and then go on practicing, and then new things, go on practicing, and in that way, development comes. Now, I want some input from you. You have heard many words from me, and I made an effort to put chakras in a context that we can understand. You might have noticed that I didn't tell you that you should go to somebody who uses some stick to point on your chakras and balance them. We don't recommend this type of things. And I remember many years ago, I was in an esoteric fair in Switzerland, and it was all about pendulums and pyramids and photos of your aura and all these very special things. And there was some people there that were balancing the chakras. And they will tell you, oh, your second chakra is blocked, but I can unblock it, you know. What we think is that it is a work that we have to do by ourselves, by our lifestyle, by the practices that we do, and we can change ourselves. And usually it's not something miraculous that somebody can come and, okay, now I opened your chakras. It is very rare, and most of the time is not true. All right, so here is a question to you. I talked so much. Why do you think this knowledge of chakras is important, and why does it matter to you? So I have two answers so far, and I think both are quite good. One is that I am seeking balance and want to empower myself. And the second one keeps my focus inward. Oh, now we are getting lots of answers here. So I understand why particular practices are recommended. I am more likely to do them if I know why I should. That's exactly. Practices like meditation practices, yoga practices, these are like tools that you have to improve yourself. So if you understand yourself better, you know which tool to use when and why it is important. And you are more likely to use it if you know the reason. Okay, another one. All right, I have here somebody saying a very particular problem that I have been living with my parents for the last 13 years. I had a very close relationship with my mother. She died unexpectedly 5 days ago. Oh, I'm very sorry to hear that. And my father too. I'm having much sadness in my heart. I would like to know how to get over it. You see, 5 days is a short time, so it's normal that you will be feeling like that. But keep doing particularly asanas, and asanas that help for the chest, like the cobra. And so these will release a little bit what you are holding, and the meditation. And for more support also from friends, and work on that, and you will surely be able to overcome this situation. Yeah, but you can also, as somebody is telling in the chat, listen to Kiirtan, because the mantra also is going to vibrate your whole being. It will also help. And if you need somebody to talk to, I'm sure here in PLT, somebody will like to listen to you. And yeah. Okay. There is a current buzzword, self-care. When I can care for myself, I become a better person that can reach beyond myself. Right. Our practices are active. They require your willpower. And by doing that, you also becoming stronger. So doing asanas, doing meditation, everything is active. It's not lying there and somebody's coming and balancing your chakras, unblocking your chakras. We don't really recommend that. Okay, to help balance yourself, balance your health for a more fulfilling life. Yes, all this I'm very much in agreement. It's a key to understand my body, my mind, to manage myself, my emotion. Yes. I want to experience my best virtues as a human being. Sometimes we look at some people and say, oh, that person is so relaxed, so calm. And we look at somebody else and we say, oh, that person is so courageous. We can also be, as long as we work on ourselves. A normal human being with a balanced body and mind should be in that way. Okay, we have here in Spanish. Because by learning about the functioning and the location is essential to regulate our life. All right. And when my own life is balanced, it helps me to serve others more fully and easily. Yes. If you are well, you can do a lot for you and for others. All right. So that was great. Thank you for the feedback. And if you have any questions, okay, there are some comments here. Oh, about getting over grief, somebody's giving a suggestion. Okay, so he's saying that release what you're holding, so let yourself feel the emotions. Crying is good, but also then let yourself cry and not suppress it. Also doing something concrete can help, like helping others, gardening, writing. Yes, if you keep your mind occupied with some positive activity, like what is being suggested, to do some gardening, to write, to be helping others, you will eventually overcome this situation. Thank you, Aaron. All right, so if there is any question, you can put in the Mentimeter, or you can ask in the chat, but you can also keep the questions for a little later, because what the next activity I want to do here is a breakout room. I want that you go into different rooms, which Karun, our host, is going to prepare. He's going to open in a moment the rooms, and you can choose which room you go. The rooms will be by language, English, Vietnamese, Spanish. So you choose the room, and what are you going to talk in the room? I'm going to show you all the list of propensities of the third chakra, and I want you to discuss in your room which of those propensities the group thinks is more difficult or more problematic for them. Okay, you can come to an agreement on 2 propensities. Okay, and I'm going to also put a Mentimeter where you can put the answer from the group, which are the 2 most problematic propensities. So in that Mentimeter, you can answer twice. You can give 2 answers, okay? So I think we can now open the groups, and I will share the screen in the groups after first I leave you some time to discuss, a few minutes, and then you will see my screen on the group, and then you can put the propensities. If it takes too long, your discussion, I can wait until you also come back, and then you can put your answers when you come back, okay? Let's see how it works. So we can open the groups now. Okay, so let me put all the propensities. Okay, let's see. I will share them with the group so they can know which are the propensities that they have to discuss.
Thank you for turning on the recording, Ishita. I was about to. The breakout rooms have closed, so we should all be back shortly.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. So look at the answers. It's interesting that fear and shyness were the ones that were mostly chosen by the groups. Infatuation and hatred. Okay, so I can give a chance also. If you individually want to put your take there, you are invited to. Now we saw the group one, so now you can put also individually. Let's see if there is some change. So the group is like collective mind, let's say. And let's see now individual minds, how it will become. Well, it's still like fear and shyness are the dominating ones. We have melancholia coming in 3rd place, and then we have envy, yearning for acquisition, infatuation, hatred. Keep in mind that all these answers are anonymous, so feel free to express without censure. Nobody's gonna point fingers here. All right, I think that was interesting that we see that fear and shyness are like maybe the propensities that we are mostly dealing with. And in spiritual practice, or in the practice of yoga or tantra, these 2 points are very important. In fear, a lot of the practice of tantra is to help us overcome fear. And a lot also is to help us overcome shyness. Okay, so these two, because these two propensities many times don't let us develop in our life. It keeps us from moving ahead. All right, thank you very much for your input on this one. Next, we have a new exercise. It's not new for you. It's what we call waterfall. Waterfall, now we change the subject. We are going to talk, so what is your takeaway from today? Don't answer yet, hold your answer. What you do is like this, you write it in the chat, but don't press the submit. Just write it there and wait. I'm going to give a count to 3, and then I will tell you to submit. So everybody submits together, and it will come like a waterfall in our chat window. So take a look at your chat window. Write your takeaway for today. What 1 or 2 words, not more than that. And then I'm also writing here. I wrote, so I'm ready to send, to press the submit button. I hope you are also ready. And I'm counting 1, 2, 3, press it. Okay, so it's flowing, the water is flowing. So let's see. I will read from the top. Interrelated, clarify hope, empowered, more balanced, helpful, thinking about chakras, interesting, chakra. Oh, that we have we need some translation here from the Vietnamese. And yoga asanas, cooking of chakras, another Vietnamese, and great, and soaring, cooling of chakras. Okay. Talk about the chakras and the body. And we saw that the counterpart of the chakras in the body are the glands and subglands of our endocrine system. Therefore, one suggestion is, you want to know more about chakras, read more about the endocrine system, how it works. That will be a practical approach. Then we also saw chakras and emotions and propensities. We saw that different chakras are related to different propensities. So if we have a problem in one of related to a certain propensity, we have to do something for that chakra. So we were talking about fear and about shyness, which is related to the navel chakra. If we do some asanas that strengthen those chakras, we will become less fearful and less shy. So that's a practical approach also. Then, we saw also that chakras are substations of the mind. And I made that comparison like the state government and the central government. And why it matters? Because now we know that we can change ourselves by changing our lifestyle by changing the practices that we do during the day. Imagine, for example, somebody who is always sitting a little bit like lying down, watching television, eating, and they are getting a big belly. That is all weakening the navel chakra. And eventually they will get some problem. Why? Because position is very important. Like the yoga exercises are mostly about the position. You put your body in a certain position for a certain time, you get a certain result. You put your mind in a certain position for a certain time, you get another result. So we know now that we can change ourselves by what we do in our daily life, by how we live, by what we eat. All these things can change us. And chakras are a very important part of spiritual practices. The other thing I want to call your attention to is that there is a lot of buzz about chakras, this color, this thing, this emotion, you feel like this, feel like that. Let's take it a little bit more real, more practical, more in our day-to-day life. And also, let's think that it is what we do that is the most important. It's not like we go to some person who will do a miracle with our chakras and change us. That's not usually how it happens. Usually it takes a daily work to change, because we are today in the way we are because how we live our life, and maybe even previous lives. Okay, so how we have lived has made us the way we are. And how we will live from today will make us different in the future. And if we know what matters, what can take us in the way we want to go, we can move in that direction gradually. And I think that's what I wanted to share with you. And here, please share 1 or 2 words that describe your feeling now. Excited, overwhelmed, nice, satisfied, tranquil. And that way we are closing our, okay, peaceful, thankful. Among friends, that's a very important one. Online, we are also close, you know, like it could be like I'm in your home now talking to you. So feel free to talk back to me. You know. All right, great. I think we have occupied our time, and see if we go towards our closing. And I will invite Krishna Prema to take over.
Thank you, Dada. That was fantastic. Very, very valuable. And thank you everyone for being here today. Yes, just a few announcements. Dada kind of briefly talked about it. We will be starting a course in January 22nd, and hope this week to be sharing much more about it. And it's going to be called Meditation, Yoga, and Living with Purpose. So we're very excited about this new course, and so be prepared to hear about it soon. And so from there, and we'll be covering lots of things like this, like things that we've been speaking about in the workshops, and things from our other courses. So also, we've been talking about this for the last several months. We have a fantastic online community through our Mighty Networks, and you can download the app to any of your smart devices, which includes your cell phone, or if you have an iPad or an Android. And we'd love for you to join us there so we can continue the discussion. So this week we'll be talking about chakras. About every other day we put up polls just to kind of, stimulate some more conversations so we can go deeper, and also so we can get to know each other more and create a global community. Next workshop, we will be talking about community activism, and I will be interviewing a gentleman here from Hawaii, and he's on a mission to feed an island. So we'll be talking about food security and some amazing things he did or has done, and things to inspire all of us so that we can start to be more community oriented and be activists in our own community. And lastly, too, we still have our donation campaign going on, and we appreciate the people that have made donations. And it helps us keep the lights on and to be offering these free online workshops and meditation. And we are hopefully going to be able to pay some of our hosts and our translators, which we're so grateful for them being here. Karun on Sundays and Sabod, we really appreciate all their efforts, and we appreciate all of you being here. And thank you very much. And I think we'll be sharing a poll before we say goodbye. And again, thank you for all being here, and have a wonderful morning, day, or evening, whatever time it is. And we look forward to seeing you in the community this week.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. Hope to see you next week. Namaskar.